Good afternoon. Welcome back to Community Dialogues, and this is my little version with a sustainable twist. And today, I am always Faith Reeves, not just today, but always. But today I'm here with Pete Tollenaere, and Pete has been working with me for the last year and a half plus, about a year and 7 months, with the Resilient Action Committee. He's on the Private Land Stewardship Group subcommittee. And in that group, we have a focused area, 3 focused areas: urban water quality, habitat and biodiversity conservation practices, and agricultural conservation practices. Pete represents our biodiversity and habitat conservation sector, and water quality. I guess you can't separate those. Yeah. So we were in our meeting this past week, and I heard a bit of information that really wanted me to pull you into this chair, because I think it's really amazing. You're going to be recognized as Iowa's Outstanding Tree Farmer of the Year coming up soon.
Right.
I'm super excited. Now, Pete, you probably, I assume everybody knows Pete, or at least everyone who's engaged in the community ins and outs here in Fairfield. Pete and Kathy how long have you been in Fairfield?
Since 1979.
Wow, and what brought you here?
Well, I came to Fairfield, I worked with the Department of Transportation for many years, and I came here in 79, like I said, to work on a career in the number of areas that were available here in Fairfield. So I've been involved in some construction and maintenance activities throughout southeast Iowa, and some design, and was a wonderful place to settle down and raise our family.
Wonderful. So did you have a bent towards conservation while you were doing DOT work?
Well, I had involvement with people in our roadside development section, and so yeah, I had a little bit of opportunity there to provide some input of my own, and to the group that took care of all the right-of-way in throughout the southeast part of the state.
Oh wow!
So. Yeah, that was always an interesting part of the project that I enjoyed, or one of the areas that I enjoyed.
How is southeast Iowa doing right now in that regard, do you think?
Well, I think Iowa in general is recognized in terms of one of the leaders in roadside management, with the native plants that they put in the right-of-ways, and they're recognized throughout a number of states for the work that they do.
Wonderful. So I don't know if everyone was clued in, but in 2023, Pete also was recognized as Citizen of the Year here in Fairfield because of his community service, his deep commitment to community. So whether it be children's groups with the Kiwanis and Kids Day, and you do hunting and fishing training with youth, baseball, and were you coaching, or were you?
Well, I've coached in the past, but things kind of come and go sometimes in our lives.
With the kids growing up, and then you move on to the next. And so Habitat, you've been deeply involved over the years. Kathy
and I had the opportunity to acquire a small farm in 1996. So that kind of opened the door for me to start my own habitat projects.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of a labor of love since.
Now, is the small farm the 80 acres?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's small in Iowa.
Right. I'm not a farmer. I don't consider myself a farmer. I'm just a tinkerer out on the countryside.
Oh, it's beautiful though. Conservation, it's interesting that you can have a deep commitment to land stewardship and preserving and creating, fostering habitat, and have that not be considered farming, you know?
Right.
It's interesting. It's technically not considered farming, I guess.
Right.
We need to bring forestry and meadow and prairie preservation and production into the realm of, I guess, agriculture.
It's
we need to
agriculture.
diversify. Yeah.
It's just a different form of agriculture. Yeah. Forestry particularly has got a different time frame. We all kind of live our lives one year to the next, and we get in repeating cycles. Well, unfortunately, forestry is a lot longer cycle than most of us are used to dealing with. So that's one of the first things that you have to get kind of acclimated to.
It's going to be a waiting game.
To realize that, what you're doing may not show any real signs of benefit for some years down the road.
So you took on that 80 acres, and it had already standing timber, 40?
Right. It's basically two 40-acre sections. One is primarily grassland, and the other one is timber. Mm-hmm. So we've done a little bit of work, both in grassland conservation and native grass plantings. In the forestry area, we've tried to change some things that were in the forest. Mm-hmm. It's a slow process, but being able to work with some of the programs that are available to people, we've been able to take on projects, and they show a little bit of change every year. Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of shifting the demographics of your stand, or?
Right. Mm-hmm. I guess the one thing that I've learned in working through forestry is if you do nothing, that is absolutely doing something. Mm. All land will eventually just revert back to forest, whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. And if you do nothing, you may not end up with a forest that you would like to have. I mean, you may have species of trees that are a nuisance, or they're not what you want to have. They don't provide quality habitat. Mm-hmm. So you have to think about what you want, and then take small steps to direct your forest in a direction. Mm-hmm. As an individual landowner, I can't ever claim that I have created a forest. All I do is I work out there. I've got a chainsaw and a shovel and a couple of other small pieces of equipment, and I try to do things to help steer a little bit about what the future might look like. Mm-hmm. Like I said before, if you do nothing, you're going to end up with something, but it may be something that you don't really want to end up with. Mm-hmm. So.
What are some of the trees that you feel, it's those pioneer species, I guess, that blow in on the wind pretty easy?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Your cottonwoods or your willow, or? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one of the things when we first got our land, and I've worked with some of the people at the Natural Resources Conservation Service and the Department of Natural Resources, and we looked back through some of the old aerial photography of what the farm looked like.
Those are so cool.
75 or 80 years ago.
Yeah.
And you could see that it was farmed. It's really not very good land to be farmed, and
it has topography.
It has topography, yeah. Mm-hmm. And there was quite a bit of potential for erosion. Mm-hmm. That was there, and there was obviously it had been pastured significantly, and the trees were pretty well cleared out. The trees were cleared out of there, and once the trees were cleared out, like you say, it allowed some of the earlier species, the pioneer species, to get started, and left to grow on their own. They created a forest.
Yeah. So you had a canopy of pioneers that are
species.
Short-lived.
Yes. So right now, we're working on some different projects where we're clearing things out, and trying to get other types of trees established, primarily oak species. And oak is one of the species that is really important in Iowa and in all around. It's considered what they call a keystone species, where many animals and large animals, small animals, insects,
moths,
all kinds of things are dependent on keystone species. And the oak trees, not any one specific one, but the whole group of family of oaks is important. And I think throughout the country, oaks are in jeopardy a little bit from the standpoint that as trees establish, timbers get darker with age, and oak trees need a lot of light to get reestablished. So if you take that sunlight away from them by allowing other species to grow up, it doesn't allow oak to regenerate.
Yeah.
And there's a concern across the country right now that we need to do more things to get that to regenerate, since we're kind of focused on getting rid of fires out in our native areas. And if you take one thing away, you're going to end up with another reaction.
Right.
So
you select for those pioneer species if you don't burn.
Right.
Yeah. And so you have had an opportunity to do some management of your timber and open up, get some sunlight down to the forest floor. Now you've got oaks that are
we're working with oaks. We're getting some regeneration. I've also had we've had a couple of timber sales over the years where we've opened up the forest ourselves, to where we took some of the trees that were marketable but maybe not real good trees, took those out of the woods, kind of cleared some areas, and then we started reestablishing trees. Primarily what I'm working with right now is walnut and oak species to try to regenerate the forest as I would like to see it regenerate.
Great.
Now that's only my opinion.
Yeah.
But
well, I think the squirrels and the deer and the birds will all be on your side of that.
Right. And there's other things that we plant in there, because a diverse forest is a good forest.
Yeah.
We just want to have a little bit of input into what's gonna live there for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a designer.
Right.
Yeah, that's a part of being a land steward, is you're a designer, and you have to make those calls.
Right.
You have to decide what gets culled and what gets to stay. I noticed I got an opportunity to go to a field day at your farm last year in June. There was we were checking out your pollinator strips, or your, I guess, prairie meadow pollinator combo CRP.
Right, right. That was sponsored by the Iowa Learning Farms and the Department, or the Natural Resources Conservation Service, the Extension Service, and the DNR. And
great that they all work together.
Yeah, everybody's kind of working together on this. And last year we kind of focused on the prairie part of things, and it was done at a pretty good time of year. It was the prairie kind of comes alive, and I look at the 1st of July is the time where it's really the prettiest.
Yeah.
And we had a wonderful day. The weather cooperated. We had about 75 people out there, I think.
It was great attendance.
And it was a fun day to get out there and take a look at what different types of flowers are blooming in the different types of environments.
So many of those participants were landowners who were interested in stewardship themselves.
Right.
And what were the conversations like? What's your kind of feel for private land conservation practices?
Well, I think people are interested. It's one of those things that you just kind of jump in and you start swimming as you learn about it. And everybody has some failures. Everybody has some successes, and you just build on that continually. we'd like to skew things towards successes by having some educational opportunities where you can share landowner experiences like on our farm, or there's any number of opportunities that are available through these different agencies that help sponsor the different activities.
Yeah, there are a lot of webinars, a lot of opportunity, but that peer-to-peer, shoulder to shoulder, in-person field day is really so very important.
It gives somebody a real hands-on experience on what things can look like.
Yeah.
That's pretty important.
Yeah, and you get to pick up all the amazing publications that all of the organizations bring.
Right.
So there's another one coming up because you are officially going to be recognized for the work that you're doing in your timber. Recognized as Iowa's Outstanding Farmer of the Year, or Tree Farmer. Tree Farmer. Thank you, Tree Farmer.
Right.
It is a thing. And so what day is that going to be?
That's going to be on October 28th. I believe it's a Tuesday. And it'll be from 9 o'clock in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. And since it's a tree farm activity, we're going to be focusing on the timber section of our farm primarily. There'll be some discussion about some of the things up in the CRP area.
Oh, great.
But primarily we'll be looking at some of the woodland practices that I've done.
Great. And now do you have forest edge, understory, anything like that going close to the timber?
Right. We'll be looking at forest edges. We'll be looking at some areas where I clear cut basically everything on a creek bottom and started from scratch, planting trees that were more conducive to bottomland type of environments. Some different activities where I've cleared out quite a bit of understory in some oak areas, so we're trying to promote regeneration. And we're going to look at some trees that I had planted right off the bat when we got our farm initially back in 1996. And those trees they're interesting to watch. They're no longer little sticks that I put in the ground.
30
and
years.
They're legitimate trees. And this year I'm seeing a big acorn crop on them. So given enough time, success will show itself.
Awesome.
So,
well, I'm going to be there. I'm going to register. There will be a registration opportunity. It's not live yet, but I'll share the link with Werner. He can put it in the description. Check that link back. Just keep checking back. There is a small fee to register, but it is worth it. That peer-to-peer engagement, the opportunity to see it real time and to really ask the farmer the questions, like what happened?
right, and there'll be a number of district foresters available to answer any questions, and they'll be helping to kind of interpret what's out there. And it's a good place to just connect with some of the resource people that can help anybody get started. And that's probably one of the first things that needs to happen is when you're getting into this business is to find out and figure out what resources are available to you. So that you can avoid some of the pitfalls that you no doubt may fall into. So
Yep. Know where the resources are, know where your peer neighbors are, and build community around something you love.
right.
Great. Well, Pete, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
So
Appreciate
awesome.
that.
No,
You bet.
I really appreciate you. Thanks, everyone.